singing about God's grace and how great God is. And Coenraad's story really puts a lot of substance to that. So I'm just going to turn it over to Coenraad now and welcome him to the stage.
Good morning, and can everybody hear me?
Oh, yeah.
This morning there was a little leaflet. I don't know if anybody saw it, but there's another leaflet. If you didn't pick it up, you can pick it up on your way out. It's a leaflet that Mariette compiled for her experience and our experience throughout this time. So please feel free to pick one up, read through it. It's really inspiring, and it's also inspired me a lot throughout this journey. It's a little bit more difficult when you stand up here and you have to speak. But I have been labeled as a chatterbox throughout the community here. But the reason I'm here this morning is to confess on how wonderful our Lord has been in our lives. He's been a real savior to us through this difficult time and through the darkest times in our life. Most of you that know us know that we are immigrants ourselves. We immigrated to Canada in 2007 from Southern Africa. Mariette and I have made this move to give our children a different life than what we had and what we have experienced. For so many of you that have immigrated and that are immigrants yourself, you know how difficult the journey is to immigrate and to leave what's familiar and come and make a new life for yourself. There are many challenges that we face every day. But we have been blessed from the day that we have arrived in Canada, from the first greeting that we had from the border agency. We were just blessed with welcome arms into Canada. One of the first encounters that Mariette had was in a park with members of this congregation, Charles and Anya, which has then invited us to this family, Oakridge. And from there we have grown into this family, and it's really become part of our family and part of our friendships. When we came over, we did not come over with a tremendous amount of wealth. We came over with employment and with the hope of creating a better future for ourselves and our kids. Mariette has faced many challenges throughout her life and also when we arrived in Canada. She's an occupational therapist by trade, but she had a vision impairment, which is she had to fight through her whole life. And it has put so many barriers in front of her. But she's always seemed to get through it. And she's always made a success of whatever she does. God has brought many different people over our lives at the times when we needed it. We have made many friends, and we have lost some friends. But God gave us those friends in the time when we needed it, and He has taken them away from us when He has seen fit. After 7 years in Canada, we felt that we are now really settling in, and we can start to build on our future. Start to gather some financial freedoms. Mariette just finished a year of study, and now she was ready to enter back into the job market. And then the biggest challenge came. We were faced with the big C word. It was devastating news to hear. The only positive thing that was lingering was that the doctors assured us that 85% of people that get diagnosed with this cancer get cured completely with the modern medicine that's available. So I decided that we're going to go through the treatment. So we took the chemo and radiation therapy. And yes, it all did work. We went through it. A lot of friends in this congregation prayed for us every day, and we did get through it. And by the end of last year, everything looked very positive. I returned to work. But the only thing that I wanted to do is get it behind me. I didn't want it part of my life anymore. I just wanted to forget about it. But unfortunately this year, the news hit us again. There was an aggressive tumor that developed, and it was spreading very fast. So it put us in the 15% category that didn't get healed through modern medicine. This was devastating news to us. We didn't know how to deal with it. And now you were faced with mortality. I had many questions for God, and even often I was angry at God for bringing this into our lives. Because He entrusted me to this family and to look after this family with the magnitude of needs that they have. So how do you get through this? There's so many thoughts that constantly race through your mind that you don't know what to do. But you have to sit back and now you have to see how God's plan is coming together and how He's going to change things in your life. And how one devastating news can perform or can transform into so many different miracles. I'm going to mention a few, but there are so many. And every day is a miracle when you wake up and you see that it's a new day. I've always been in control of my life, and I wanted to control everything in my life. And I didn't want to give up any control. But at this time, I had to give up control to God. To let God take that control and then help us through this dark time. There were so many things to organize in such a short period of time before the day of the surgery. As the outcome of the surgery became devastating. We were in the middle of a major construction at home. Our closest friends came together and God just used them, and it transpired into something wonderful. I had to let that control go, which was very difficult. But God showed me that you are not alone in this world. You will put people into your life that will help you. I've asked myself, how will Mariette get through with her disability, look after the kids, providing the everyday needs that she doesn't normally do? Because I was put there to help her and to do it for her. A very deep sadness came over me as the hours drew near before the surgery. And I've asked myself, could I be facing death now? As I've seen a few months ago, before that we had to bury one of our own friends to cancer. I've made the same peace as he did, to say, yes, if you do face death, God will be there to pick you up at the other end, and you will be with Him. doctors planned a very long and intense procedure that could have left me with no speech and no means to consume food, and ultimately could be the loss of life. But as I stand here today, the contrary is true. I'm here, I'm living, I can speak. I can eat. And it came very clear that morning when I saw how God has given me peace and that He will take care of things. The finances we needed for Mariette's classes that will give her that independence started to come in. The brothers and sisters from Oakridge arrived for prayer and comfort. At our house, people were working. They were getting things ready while I was in hospital recovering to make it livable so that I don't have to come back in an atmosphere of construction. God has revealed through me, through all the actions and the miracles, as it unfolded, that He will not let us perish. He will be there for us. I have found a tremendous peace come over me, and it started to calm my heart before the surgery. I knew that He is in control, and He will provide all our needs, just as He has always done. If you look back at your own life, look at everything that He's done. Things that we take for granted, He has been there, and He has always made sure that we are okay, that we can live, and that we are provided for. God has blessed us every day. Although I still face challenges coming every day, I'm in peace with what I have and what God has done for us. He doesn't give us more than what we can handle. He's here with us, even if we don't realize it. He's carrying us. I thank God every day that I wake up, that He has blessed me with such good friends and family. We have to know that we are always blessed with life on earth. Death is not the end, and we will accept Him when we accept Him in our lives. We will have the eternal life as He has promised us. I want to thank my wife and my children, the Oakridge family, the colleagues that have stood by us, and all the strangers, and all the prayers that have been brought forward for us in this time. Through your prayers, God has answered, and He has provided. And that's a wonderful thing to know. God bless you all. And have a good day.